Today is Thursday, April 26th, 2018. Let's take a look at the news. NewYorkPost.com, judge, bars are allowed to throw out Trump supporters. So in response to a gentleman named Greg Piatek, who was wearing a Make America Great Again, not too dissimilar to this fantastic sweatshirt I have on, and he was kicked out of a bar for wearing it, and a judge said, yeah, you can do that. Bars can kick out Trump supporters. If anyone thinks this is a good thing, I don't know what you think you're doing. There was a time when you could vote for the guy you wanted, and then we all still worked together and said, oh, okay, well, maybe next time, maybe 4 years from now, I can get my guy in, you know? Where do you think this is going as you start a fight with more than half of the country? And we've been really cool. Where do you think it's going? Who do you think is starting the fight? Who do you think is the bigot and the racist in this situation? Really? So, it's becoming like a litmus test to see how self-aware people are. Europe.infowars.com, a United Nations official has warned that jihadist factions are working on a scheme to destabilize a region of Africa that could ultimately drive some 500 million migrants into Europe. Yeah, that's the plan. And luckily, there's whistleblowers within the United Nations. That's good. This guy's name is David Beasley. He's an executive director of the UN World Food Program. And he's blowing the whistle on a United Nations plan. If you want to know more about it, watch my video, The Deep State Explained in 5 minutes. And why don't we want that here in America? Well, there should be obvious reasons, but the GellerReport.com, Maine House Democrats vote, Maine, as in the state of Maine, the United States, Maine House Democrats vote to allow female genital mutilation. That is in America. And it'll be funded by Planned Parenthood to remove the clitoris of women. Why? So that they can't enjoy the sexual act. She writes, any society that tolerates the deliberate mutilation of women and girls can no longer call itself part of the civilized world. I agree. She says, where are the feminists? Yeah, where are they? They'll put pussy hats on for a guy talking about the nature of groupies, and they don't seem to care about genital mutilation in America? Now, today there were some JFK files released. And what's interesting about the timing of this is Q is suggesting that the memos that were released to Congress yesterday, that they still haven't made public. The claim is that they will be made public maybe later today, probably tomorrow. Q alleges that in those memos, there is plans, FBI agents making plans of violence against the president. Assassination attempts? We'll find out. But it's interesting that the JFK files were released the same within days of the memos, if that is what the memos are going to say. It's going to sort of paint a picture for all of us simple sleeping children, which I think we all are. And what's interesting is I'm looking at one document, allegedly from the released documents, and it connects George Herbert Walker Bush with Lee Harvey Oswald, which is not necessarily news to some of us. There's been great investigation done in that puts George Bush in Dallas the time of the assassination. He claims he doesn't remember where he was that day. He was in the CIA at the time. It seems like he was the lieutenant on the ground calling the shots for the JFK assassination, which is interesting because it explains a lot as far as his following years into power. You would imagine this is how things go. It's like a criminal cabal. You make your bones, you do this, and then you can get ahead. You can have a job that you want. You can be president of the United States if you want. So that's interesting. We'll see where that goes. I don't know if this document I'm looking at is real, if that was in the release documents coming out. But if you take your time and you do your own investigation, all this stuff is already there. Another article from today, timing. It's like we're in a movie. 9/11 families call for new investigation. And this is the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry, a group representing families of the 9/11 victims, filed a petition with the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York to push for an investigation into the crimes of 9/11. Hopefully this comes too. It has to, in my opinion. We're about to see the fall of the Clinton dynasty, the Obamas, and the Democratic Party. Great. But it can't end there. It's got to go to the Bushes. It's got to go all the way. From news.nationalgeographic.com, exclusive, ancient mass child sacrifice may be world's largest. More than 140 children were ritually killed in a single event in Peru more than 500 years ago. What could possibly have been the reason? Once again, if you do your own investigation and you look into this, you will see that the world's elite have been behaving in this manner for all of recorded time, all the way back to Babylon, up until today. And that's what we're seeing with this massive human trafficking takedown, whatever you want to call it, that's been going on for the past year. Unprecedented, historical. So I think the choice is ours. Darkness, evil, and tyranny, or freedom. And, all we got to do is start waking ourselves up, I think. That's really it. The more of us wake up, we're going to see this. It's going to be incredible. I'll see you tomorrow.